Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back, everybody. It's been a long time now that I recently uploaded a new video, but today we're gonna talk about anime. Well, I didn't even tell you guys that I really love anime, and now I'm telling y'all what I like to watch when I'm not in my videos, in my always new videos. And I want to talk about Violet Evergarden. I know some of you guys. I know some of you guys already watched this show called Violet Evergarden, but we're gonna review this, and I'm gonna review this show and tell you guys how I feel about this show. First of all, let's shout out to Carson and everybody that is doing their best. We're talking about anime with this, so shout out to Carson the Red Moon and my brother that he has a YouTube channel called Juan Cardona, kind of like my channel that it's called John Cardona, like the same name. But anywho, I gotta briefly tell ya how I feel about this anime. This anime, this anime was kind of like a setting where World War II was going on, or the Civil War was going on. And I personally said, okay, it isn't supposed to be a love story because, as you can see here in the photo, it's about a young lady, right? But dressed as a formal look into it. But I never thought she was a soldier. So the first thing that anywho, it was a spoiler alert, so spoilers out there. And go to 12 or 20 minutes, and if you don't want spoilers. But anywho, it started out like that, and it's kinda like confusing, but when you get to that, you have a feeling that it's something is gonna going on, or what's going on, because the girl and the lady, the young lady, was in the hospital for 129 days, so that's maximum of 2 months and a half or something like that. I don't even get my calculations right, but somewhere around there, 2 months after. And then you start out by noticing what happened, right? By looking that she's writing and all that stuff, but it kind of like make me feel that she's writing to someone, right? So I said I get it. Probably it will be after the war. Probably it will be something else. But she was writing about Gilbert. I don't know who was that until I'll tell you later. But this unknown Gilbert was she was writing to him, and with the other soldiers that they were in the war. So she started writing, but if you notice, she had difficulties writing. So then by then there was a dude coming in, an unknown man who came, and she was asking for someone who was called Violet, and that's where it all began. And then the maiden eventually said, "Oh, you came to pick up Violet Evergarden," and it felt like no. I mean, it tells me that who is this person who is calling to, right? So yeah, and the maiden is the like they it says to come forward, right? I cannot speak right now because I'm thinking with my ideas, but don't worry about that. But and the maiden got a lead to her, right? But we never thought that she was part of the like I didn't thought the blonde young lady was the girl that they were finding, right? But the man said that she needed her she needed her though, because she's now free now from the hospital. She just he just came to pick her up, so they went to pick her up. And what just happened was the dude said, "You're gonna stay with a house, a perfect home with luxurious stuff and other stuff." I said stuff both times, sorry. And so yeah, they eventually get in the car, and they went to visit this rich lady called what was it called? I forgot the name. It was Bainhurst or something like that. You can tell me in the comments, because I did forget the old lady from the beginning. Well, they got there, right? And they were talking, and before that they were talking about uh they were talking about how was the war, and I know, and he said, "I know how you feel about this, to be outside of the camp and all that stuff." But then eventually they got into the house that they needed to leave her, right? To be an happy life and freedom. That's and, and that's what they did. But eventually, the Violet eventually said she wanted to have a job. She wanted to have something else, not only drinking tea and be so famous and all that stuff. So the guy decided to and take her to the post office, and the introduction, and it was pretty cool because you kind of see how the details were in the background, right? So now the man started like saying, "You will have to write the addresses of every mail, a mail taken to every single house, though, like a mailman do." But but in order to learn, the man had someone special to teach her how to do these things. And it was pretty funny, one part of it, like just one glimpse of it. It was pretty funny, but yeah, and they started like, sorry, I was a little bit tired though. They eventually started work, right? And she said, "What I do with the mail?" And the mail, well, not mail, like mail, like man. I mean, like mail, like cards. If you cannot understand me, I'll tell it in the comments or in the description below. But yeah, and the guy and the young guy told her to take the mail to every single house, right? So they eventually did, but unfortunately, the other guy who took her to the mail station, um, said, "What are you doing at nighttime?" And they were talking about the war and how she felt alone, and it must be hard, yeah, and other stuff. But overall, throughout the story, I'm just gonna move on because I'm gonna be talking about it for 2 hours and a half, and I don't want that. Overall, for on, Violet gets a great job on what is it called, that group? Oh, memory is all thing, a group thing. So she began to work with them, right? But the only problem was she needed to write letters, like love letters or family letters or things like that. She only knew how to write letters by only writing like a military card, like a report, like that. And throughout the show, she learned a lot of things. She learned how to write love letters, family letters, and all types of stuff. It made people happy though. Throughout the show, we meet a lot of people that she helped. She helped a young girl who was and that she admired Violet, with her attitude, the military attitude. And she asked her if she knows how to write a letter, and she was ready. But eventually, and the girl knew that Violet wasn't capable of writing love letters. And throughout the show, we meet these people that needs a poem, like the special. I'm gonna talk about the special too. Before you start, like, I just gonna give you a hint. Before you start episode 1 of season 1, you have to watch. Before watching episode 5, you have to watch a an episode called like a love, how to love yourself or something like that. It's a special episode. It's in the middle of episode 4 and episode 5. That's all the hint that I'm gonna give you. But overall, throughout the poem and throughout the show, it was so sad. Like, eventually, it was so sad how they were acting, like how sad it was when Violet lost Gilbert, the general or lieutenant. Probably it was a lieutenant. It's so sad when someone like loses someone in the war. It must be really sad. It must be like definitely sad. And yeah, practically it was, some parts were funny and some parts were sad and some parts were romantic. And I kind of like it though. Even though I don't watch that many love stories, I always love to watch um like action, like superheroes and all that stuff. But when I saw this, I felt like it's hard for someone to lose somebody. Like, yeah, I know it's fan fiction, but some of these parts are really true though. Like, like, like when someone dies, like you feel bad for them. You feel like you feel like you're getting into emotionally sad because that person that was your admire for that person, or that was your best friend, that was your teacher, that was etc. But yeah, it kind of felt sad when I did. But overall, this show, I recommend this show. I really do recommend this show. One, because it has a good love story. And three, because the plot of this story is so amazing. The animation and and the and the color textures, everything. The animation, everything. So yeah, and it's really sad and all, but it's sometimes some parts are really true. Even though you don't notice it, some parts make you wanna cry. Like make you remember those good times going by. But overall, this show I would give it a 10 out of 10. Oh, a 10 out of 10. And now let's move on to, let me see. Ah, yes, the movie. Yes, so I'll be right back. I'm back, guys. Yeah, I was thinking a lot, and like, I think it's gonna be more spoilers because of the movie that I'm gonna talk with. So probably like 30 or 29. I'm sorry, guys. I was mistaken. But anywho, the movie the movie is about her again, in, but she has to, instead of writing letters, she has to to help a student being a discipline and a behavior and all that stuff. So yeah, so eventually Violet gets invited by the royal, right? Sorry, guys, I had to take a minute right there. But eventually, the royal wanted them to wanted her to be there. Yeah, and it's kind of like weird because you usually see the show like you helping people by writing letters and other stuff, but this is different. Like I'm gonna tell you straightforward. It's about a, yeah, I know they get invited, but the girl is so selfish and cold when Violet gets to meet her. Like she's saying, "Why are you here? You're not supposed to be here, or be gone, be lost, or because I don't need your help. I can do it myself." But eventually, Violet explaining to her that her family wanted her to be there and to help her with the discipline. And eventually, the princess. Now that we're talking about royal stuff, the princess she didn't went to a normal school. She went a private school. We all girls school, like going to all girls school. You know what I mean. But eventually, she was watching her every move and everything that she talks about, it was great though. It was funny because even though you're being disciplined by a tutor like Violet, it's kind of weird, like when someone looks at you and she hears or he hears what you're talking about and tells us to stop talking like that because you're never gonna get nobody to like you. And eventually Violet got went to a tutor, to a best friend though, because now the princess was saying, I've been so rude to you, I should apologize to you. And she eventually said that's okay. So they started talking what was her family, and she talked about that she wasn't in that family. She wasn't born with a rich guy and she wasn't born with a rich dad and a rich mom. She was born in the area where the poor was, like in the coldness and the snowing and all that stuff. So they eventually talk about their past, but Violet didn't even talk about her past because she knows that the Lieutenant Gilbert it's already dead. So I understand that, but sometimes when people don't want to talk about it, just don't force them. Yeah, I'm talking different stuff, right? Different stuff at the same time. But anywho, and the point is, the plot, it's all about reuniting to her young sister. Reunited to her own sister. And that's where they did. That's all about in the movie though. It's about reuniting with her younger sister, and the younger sister reunited reunited with her older sister. So yeah, but overall, this show is amazing. I recommend you to watch it, and hopefully you understand me. I'm sorry if I had stops and I had this and that. Don't worry about it. I will do it best next time when I review something about what I watched. Right now, I'm finding an anime that really interested me, and hopefully you guys recommend me something on the comments below. Hopefully you can tell me what was the man and everybody, all the characters. So yeah, I would recommend this show. Hopefully you like it. Subscribe, give that bell a notification, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.